So this is really a huge moment for the Democratic Party. We just saw the number 4 House Democrat, Joe Crowley, fall to a 28-year-old political activist who was literally a bartender a year ago. This is not someone who was supposed to win last night, and her victory is certainly a major mark of enthusiasm for the far left wing of that party. It also raises questions about which direction they're going down the road. Ocasio-Cortez's victory against Joe Crowley indicates that the far left wing of the party has incredible energy behind it right now. And then that's probably good news for Democrats in a midterm election where it's all about turnout. Midterms are low turnout elections where it's all about which side's base is more enthusiastic. Last night in New York, we certainly saw that Democrats have incredible enthusiasm on their side. It's always easy to overreact in these situations and draw sweeping conclusions based on isolated races. Certainly this race, Joe Crowley's defeat, was a low turnout race. It also reflects major demographic shifts in his district, right? Joe Crowley's a middle-aged white guy, going up against the daughter of Puerto Rican immigrants in a district that's majority minority. About 75% of voters in that district are minorities. So sure, we are seeing an overall shift to the left by Ocasio-Cortez's party, but her specific win is not necessarily representative of a massive trend we're seeing this cycle. Looking at the overall direction of the Democratic Party right now, Ocasio-Cortez was a Bernie Sanders supporter, worked for his campaign, embraces policies like Medicare for all, abolishing ICE, things that are typically more in alignment with the far left of the party. So what we're seeing here is that, at least in a handful of cases, candidates that do embrace that far left wing are doing quite well this midterm season. It's easy to have a knee-jerk reaction and say that that's happening across the country overall. There are certainly some examples, but there's also other examples of more moderate, even pro-life Democrats in some cases doing well. So I don't want to go too far and say that the candidates themselves this fall are shifting dramatically to the left, but I think we can draw a conclusion here that the party overall, the base of the party in particular, is shifting to the left. It was a great night for President Donald Trump's party. He could have been embarrassed in South Carolina. He could have been embarrassed in New York, where Michael Grimm was going up against a congressman who Trump endorsed. In both cases, Donald Trump did quite well. He got his preferred candidates in there. So we're really seeing, at least in a handful of cases, Republicans coming together and Democrats having a real moment of soul searching to determine which direction they're going in going forward. So Mitt Romney's in the middle of a third act in a third act in national politics, right? He was the Republican Party's presidential nominee, Massachusetts governor. Now it looks like he's going to be a U.S. senator representing Utah. He survived what is probably his toughest election this cycle, that primary, where he was up against someone on his right saying that he wasn't close enough with Donald Trump. The general election in a heavily Republican state shouldn't be very difficult for him. Really the big question right now for Mitt Romney is what kind of U.S. Senator will he be? Will he be a thorn in President Donald Trump's side? He was once the face of that Never Trump movement a couple years ago. Romney has certainly warmed to Trump more recently, and I spoke to people close to Romney who say that he's probably not going to be a major agitator for the president, probably going to get along more often than he doesn't. One interesting piece here is that I think what we're seeing in the Democratic Party in 2018 is more or less what we saw from the Republican Party in 2010 in that Tea Party wave, right? Where we saw Republicans lurch pretty far to the right. There are indications that Democrats are moving pretty far to the left. I would just remind people that back in 2010, in that first midterm election of President Obama's first term, Republicans picked up 63 seats. So aligning with your base or moving to the extremes isn't necessarily a short-term problem for parties in midterm elections. Again, the real question is, what does it do for the party long-term, and especially in 2020, where we're already seeing a huge stack of Democrats lining up to take on Donald Trump. Yeah, Joe Crowley's loss certainly raises questions about the future of leadership on the House Democratic side. Nancy Pelosi has had a stranglehold on leadership for a long time. She was starting to indicate that she might be open to some sort of succession plan. Joe Crowley was part of those discussions. Now that he's out of the picture, it's more likely than not that Nancy Pelosi holds on for even longer, even if her party takes control of the House majority this fall.